I'm running for office as I have in my entire life. I've stepped up to the plate to publicly serve. I always take a pay cut because of it, because there's a mission to be accomplished. And in my life, there was a mission with the Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors that I succeeded. There was a mission with the California Ag Labor Relations Board, which I succeeded. And there was a mission with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, which I succeeded in helping environmental justice to communities that had been denied environmental resources. And now this is probably my last calling for public service. And too much is at stake, one of the most important elections of our lifetime. And that's whether we're going to continue in the current direction we've been headed and continue to be headed under Governor Newsom, or whether we're going to go in a new direction. And I'm running that direction and, go to Sacramento and do what I've always done, be an effective.
Why are you running for office?
I'm running for the 37th Assembly District seat for the same reason I've always got involved with public service. When there was a major issue to be addressed and somebody to take on the issue, whether it was my years in the County Board of Supervisors, I was an agent of change, or the chair of the Ag Labor Relations Board, or most recently the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And bottom line is, I think California, this one of our more important elections. We're headed in the right direction, and the question is, do you want to continue in that direction? Vote for my opponent if you want a new direction for California. I was back on Board of Supervisors. I was named most valuable public official in county government in America by Governing Magazine, of which there were 18,000 plus people that could have gotten that award for my reorganization efforts in Santa Barbara County in terms of downsizing agencies without eliminating services. We basically consolidated agencies, and we went from a budget deficit of 15% to a budget surplus of 10%. That was back when I started in politics. My most recent involvement with politics was the regional administrator for the Southwest Administration of the United States Environmental Protection Agency, for what I did with helping on the environmental justice front, solving transboundary sewage problems at the U.S.-Mexico border, dealing with Navajo Nation, uranium mine issues, of which even Speaker Nancy Pelosi sent a letter to me commending me for restoring integrity, transparency, and responsibility with the United States Environmental Protection Agency. I guarantee I am the only high-level Trump appointee that got a letter from Speaker Nancy Pelosi. I've always gone against my party when I think my party's wrong. I've been called a maverick. Most people think of me as being very independent to do what is the right thing to do and not just follow party lines. I think we have too many Republicans and Democrats. It's just partisan politics and bickering, of which, my opponent, who I've known a long time, he's a really nice guy. My wife will tell you I'm a nice guy too. But my opponent has been a very, very strong partisan. He's never gone against the governor. He never says the governor is wrong. This district, it's not a question of Republican or Democrat. They want to see an independence. They don't want to see people beholden to special interests or their party. And on that front, the choice couldn't be any more clear between my opponent and myself.
Cool.
Well, what I will take on back again, are we in right direction, wrong direction? I think we're in the wrong direction. And, you couldn't have a clear contrast again between myself and my opponent. I'm a person that supports law enforcement. My opponent led the efforts last year to defund the sheriff and the DA of Santa Barbara County, which is one of the many reasons I'm even endorsed by the Santa Barbara County Deputy Sheriff's Association, representing 500 law enforcement officers in Santa Barbara County. Significantly, even though my opponent still is a member of the Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors. So I'm going to be fighting for law enforcement, parental rights, small business owners, and opposing policies that put them out of business and force them to move to other states, opposing raising our taxes, which my opponent has supported, and supporting energy policies that will reduce the cost of gas at the pump, and water policies that will make water readily available to all California residents. I'll catch you. You can't answer that in little 10. Anybody that wants to answer it in 10-second segments, that is wrong. Homelessness is an issue. We need the state of California. One of the biggest mistakes President Ronald Reagan made as governor was closing down the mental institutions, mental hospitals, and we need to be restoring those and looking at restoring those. Other than that's at state level. Homelessness is generally something that has to also be dealt with mostly at the local level. because cities and counties are the ones that are dealing with it in their own backyard by their policies. Significantly on the water and the energy front, it's very similar. You can either try to put all your baskets in one egg, or all your eggs in one basket for an energy policy or for a water policy. That's what we've done over the last 30, 40 years. We have, and right now we see it on the energy front, that the sources of energy available moving towards sustainable renewable energy at some point, but you can't get there overnight. And on water, again, you need to have all the options on the table, of which one of the key options is building more storage that we have not built since Governor, not Jerry Brown, but his dad, Pat Brown, in 1966, who developed a water delivery system with the State Water Project that can deliver water all over the state. So you can have a drought in Southern California and a good year in Northern California. But we don't have the reservoirs. We built a water delivery system designed for 20 million people, serving 40 million people. And at that time, when we delivered it, 100% went to the people of California. Now only 70% goes because we wash 30% in the Pacific Ocean because of endangered species issues. So we need to put all the eggs for energy and water, which means desalinization plants being built, more water storage being built, more capacity being built, of which my opponent will support desalinization, but he won't support more water storage. One of the things we have to do, and we're not doing, and that's why one of the reasons I'm running back to right direction, wrong direction, you don't pass more mandates on our businesses that barely survived over the last 2 years that, make them less competitive or can't make the profit they need in California, which is why we have, for the first time in the last 3 years, an exodus of California businesses, more leaving the state. I mean, Elon Musk, with an environmental company, Tesla, left California, supposedly the green state, and went to Texas over government mandates. Those are the mandates that the current direction goes with Governor Newsom, with my opponent. And one of the best things we can do is be a strong supporter of the small businesses and repeal the mandates that make it hard for them to stay in business or force them to move to the other states. And certainly don't pass any more mandates that are going to put them out of business.
And finally, what would you like to share? What are your final comments that you would like to share?
This election couldn't be really, there's every now, about in my lifetime, maybe 2 or 3 elections that there's been a real simple concept that you can really, a big issue that which side of the issue you're on. And if you're on one side, you go with that candidate. If you're on the other side, you go with the other candidate. And this campaign really comes down to one very simple question. Do you believe we're headed in the right direction and have been over the last couple of years with Governor Newsom? Or do you think we should have a new direction? My campaign theme, Mike Stoker for Assembly, a new direction for California. My opponent is same old business, same old, and has supported the current direction and will continue to support that direction. So if you want a new direction, I'm your guy, and it's okay. If you don't, you really think the current direction is a good direction for California, you want to continue it, you definitely don't want to vote for me, you want to vote for my opponent.